Okay, here we are next morning. We're dealing with this I showed you last night. So all of that has to come off. There's a bed leaning up at the front there, and there's a cupboard laid down on its back. Has to come inside. I'll just give you a brief look in daylight. 2 meters long, that cupboard. That's plywood. That's the very bottom underneath the drawers. The bottom of the drawers are lined with plywood, which was a bit unexpected, but it's all hand built, silky oak. It has had some kind of lacquer on it at some stage, not oil, so whether that's shellac. See, this is the pelmet that sits on top of him, oak, screwed together, flat screws, so it is antique. It's very old. Never been refinished, so all the original patina is on there. This is the top underneath the pelmet. Look at those dovetails. They're not really dovetails, they're just square. But see, you still got the pencil line from the Craftsman. Line through there. Nails. So that bit there, this bit is one piece. One piece of wood from the end right through to the beginning. No lateral joints in it. Just one big piece of wood. So I'll measure that later, and see if that does. I'll give you a bit of a look at the top of it. I'll get my camera up there. Well, that'll be the front of it. 2 mirrors, another door in the middle, so it's got 3 equal sized doors on it, and this section here has got all shelving. So it's a nice piece. It's very unusual. It's not the sort of thing you pick up. I happened to get it from a friend who it came through her family, so it's kind of special. Yep, so that's coming off. The bed, that's the slat base. It's also got a spring base on top of it, so you can adjust the springs. These bolts here, you can crank them up and pull the spring tighter. But they're actually a part of the bed intended, because this is where the spring base is attached to this rail, or to that slat, and there's exactly the same slats all the way through. So I don't think it was ever intended to be just a wire base. So we do that today, don't we, boy buddy? Hey? Off there. Down on the ground, up those stairs, in. Wish me luck. Don't even think about it. Straight join, couple of little dovetails there, just nailed together there. The bottom is plywood. I'm sure it does the job. That's silky oak, Grevillea robusta. I've got 3 of them growing in my yard. I've actually got 5 of them growing in my yard. I've found some seedlings, but they're not going to be planted here because it's a weed. It's a great wood for furniture, really good wood for furniture, light, strong. It doesn't have long grain, it has this little pitted grain. Perfect for furniture. But as far as having one in your yard, you really don't want that. It's not much good. Alright, moving along. Thought I'd do that. Look out. Okay. Look out. That just happened. See? Sort of homemade, nice curve in it. So, all by my friend's grandfather. See the little irregular shaped hearts, all hand cut with a scroll saw, a hand scroll saw. This little bits down here, not a single one of them is identical. It's all been individually carved. The shape down here. It's a beautiful bed, really nice. and I didn't damage it. See, no scratches. Not one. Perfect. That bit, that's the head of the bed. Made at home, homemade, home built, granddad, great granddad. Not my great granddad, but my friend's great granddad. And he didn't make this came from a building. But the bed was homemade, and you know, she was hovering over it like a clucky hen when I was loading it onto the truck, making sure nothing was touching, nothing was scraping, no scratches. You know, it's a family heirloom, and even though she's passed it on to me, doesn't make it any less valuable to her, you know. She's got changes in her life and she has to offload a few things, and we kind of made an understanding that if ever she wants any of this furniture back, she can come straight out and get it. No questions. Because furniture that's been in your family that long, you can grow attached to it. I've got a bed over in the dance hall over there where my workshop is, and it's a strange story, but I'll tell it. When my brother died, I was 4 years old when he was drowned, and he was 13 months older than me. He was 6. So immediately I started getting night terrors, and I'd wake up screaming, and I'd have the most, I can actually remember them, the dreams. Just unbelievable shit, you know, for a 4-year-old. And so, yeah, night terrors. So Mum went out and bought me a bed. I don't know if that was suggested to her. I don't know if she read it in a book. I doubt it. I think it was just intuition. Bought a brand new bed, brand new inner spring mattress. Put it in my room. The very night I slept in it, the terrors stopped, and they've stopped ever since. I've never had nightmares and dreams, and it was just waking up terrified. It wasn't even necessarily a dream that triggered it, although I do remember dreams, but at the time, dreaming stuff. And you know, having been there when my brother drowned, I kind of got to know a little bit firsthand about the other side of life and beyond life, and started questioning and thinking and carrying on when I was 4 years old. So a bed could make all that difference, you know. And if you're in the wrong bed, like, you've got to be really careful buying antiques. If they come from a troubled home, where there's, for example, violence or any kind of vice that is not healthy, it can trouble your sleep. And I have to be very careful, because I don't really know the background history on this cupboard. I have to be careful to put it in a position where I don't see it all the time, and just let it sit there and talk to me and find out whether that is actually where it's meant to be. I might have to move it to another part of the property, or maybe even sell it, because I have bought this stuff. I've paid money for it. We've just got this understanding. I mean, me and this girl go back to when we were 19, you know, so we've got a lot of history, a lot of decades between us. So if I have to sell this piece, I will. If it doesn't behave itself in the room, sorry. That bed, I already feel good about it. It's not for me. It's a double bed. It's sort of
why use a double bed when you have got a queen bed or 2 queen beds? So that'll be for when I have my swingers parties and stuff in the chapel here, and you know, end up getting out 10, 12 beds and everybody stays over and has a wonderful big love-in. Yeah, right. That's a story of furniture. I've still got the bed that my mother bought. That it's in the workshop. It's in the dance hall over there, that spare bedroom over there, and it's stayed with us. We travel every 3 years from that time, from when I was 0 through to when I eventually left home at 18. We didn't stay in the one place, and yet Mum brought that bed with her. My sisters slept in it for a period, and I was bought another bed, but it stayed in the family. And it's made out of masonite. It's probably cheap. It's well built, big solid pine frame all round inside, not very heavy. But yeah, family heirlooms, that's the kind of attachment you can have to them, and that's the kind of significance and semblance that can follow a piece of furniture, especially antiques. Like when I was married, I bought antique rings for our wedding, and they were troubled rings, I'm telling you. And so was my marriage. It fell apart. Now, I don't blame the rings, but it didn't help. We bought an old house that was built in 1887, and that was a troubled house. There'd been conflict within those walls over the years, and I can't blame the house. I can't blame the rings. I can only blame myself for not figuring out what this marriage thing was all about, and it had to fall apart. It was always going to fall apart, but we're still good mates. Well, we're still in touch. Keep an eye on each other vicariously through Facebook. I'm not working, am I? Time for a chat. Yeah, right. Whoa! That just happened. So you've got the feet here, which are like this, with a channel down the middle there, flush with the floor, same on each end. So the idea is these rails here, these feet, 6 of them, will go up that ramp, and I've got, I'll cut them, but I might not even need to cut them. That goes underneath to stop the ramp sliding uphill, and another one at the top to stop the ramp sliding back down. So it kind of locks in place there. And I'll just pull the cupboard up on those ramps, keep it centered and also because I'll screw these boards across at the bottom here, the ramp won't splay apart. It won't come in, it won't go out. It'll be exactly the same width as the runners on the cupboard. And I think if I do it slowly and carefully, I might come up with a win. So, well, boy, we get a win. Yeah, you want to have a win? And I'll leave them long up the top here, because when they get up there, it has to go up onto a trolley, which is about that far off the high. It's quite a solid trolley with big wheels on it. So I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing, but let's see it in practice. I'm procrastinating because I'm supposed to be getting that cupboard off the truck. I wasn't really sure whether putting it on the ground was a great idea. I was thinking, well, maybe I should leave it while it's up on tray height and just move it, put a ramp from the tray across to the deck there. But honestly, the cupboard is so bloody heavy, I couldn't even lift it to stand it upright on the tray, you know. So this is the only way I can think to do it with what I've got, you know. And I'll be using a ratchet to pull it up. I can't pull it up there by myself.